Fellas, can we talk Heisman? Can we talk Heisman? I want to float two concepts, and they're both off the wall, but I feel they're both near and dear to me. First of all, can a player who's only played the second half of the season win a Heisman Trophy? And can we finally now, in 2021, invite an entire unit to New York to sit with their coordinator and all of them just get a mini replica of the Heisman? Obviously, I'm talking about Caleb Williams, who, if they run the table, we dissected Oklahoma front to back. They're going to run this thing. And now they're coming in there with a big old Billy Club that they did not have before, just in persona. And he's going to handle his business. The Heisman will go before the playoffs, so we won't even see what happens in the playoffs. Really, it's going to be decided after these next 5 games. Caleb goes in. He's a big-time player. They're going to be on national TV, probably prime time every night. We're all going to watch it. And we've seen Heisman's won in the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. You guys know that. Or could we see a unit if the Georgia Bulldogs execute Christian Hackenberg's plan under 7.5 touchdowns in an 11-game run in the SEC? What are we talking about? The average fan at home still can't name 3 starters on that team, which I think is on the defense, which I think is the most beautiful. We know the backup quarterback. You don't know the D tackle. You don't know the will backer. You don't know the field corner. Which one or both could we get in December? I'm just going to toss this up.
That's a great point. You know, I'm just sitting here kind of reflecting in my head on past Heisman winners, and in recent history, for sure, start to finish of the year, you're seeing Heisman moment after Heisman moment. You're having the entire country, regardless where your allegiances stand, tuning into their games because they're just fun to watch, right? Yeah. That's the Baker Mayfields. And, you know, now in NFL football, that's the Pat Mahomes. Everybody wants to watch the Chiefs to see if he's going to throw another pass with his left hand and so on and so forth, right? We don't have that guy this year. We've got a group of guys that are playing good football. We don't have that guy where I'm like, hey, sorry, guys, can't hang out, whatever. I there to watch this game because this guy's incredible to watch. The only group we are talking about is that Georgia defense. It's not going to happen, obviously, but there is not a clear-cut Heisman frontrunner, in my opinion, and I don't even know if I could make a list at this point.
That's fair. Hack, how smart or like PR savvy or marketing or anything would it be to bring the entire unit of Georgia? And again, the Heisman will be decided before we get to the playoffs. So they handled all regular season business in a way that no team has done before, no unit. And then you bring on this megawatt, like college football is a TV show if we really break it down. And the biggest star showed up halfway through the season series. And everybody, like Trevor's saying, is clamoring to get to the screen to come see him. Can those 11 sit next to him, and you could throw anybody else, but it's got to be probably Bryce Young. I can't even, like Trevor said, make a list. Can we do this? If you're the commissioner of the Heisman or the president or chairman, I don't even know what the name, the czar, would you do this?
Yeah, so I'll attack Georgia first. That would be incredible. And at least these guys got to get a 30 for 30 or something done on them because it is going to be, or at least it's shaping up. You know, there's still football left and no one can predict that, but it's shaping up to be historical. So that I think that would be a pretty cool moment. Take an individual award, give it to an entire unit and make a statement like that. But now with Caleb, it's just hard for me. I think you said it. I think Bryce Young, and I feel bad. I should have done a little bit more homework with this, but I just heard the stat. Bryce Young is playing phenomenal football right now. And yeah, they got the loss. I mean, it's insane. And you've said it before, you know, he's driving the most badass tank on the planet, but he's driving that badass tank better than anybody else
That's true.
Has ever done it. So he's doing a great job, especially for a true freshman coming in there and doing that at a place like Alabama, the expectations and how Saban coaches it. So I think it's going to be hard to do a kid who comes in halfway through the season when you have a guy like Bryce Young who's done it week in, week out. Yeah, he's got a loss to A&M, but the kid still played. His depth of work is much longer and deeper. I think another kid, CJ Stroud, he's I know they were off this week, but CJ played fantastic the last 2 weeks. And, I think he's really starting to hit his stride. He had some moments early on where he played well. Even that Oregon game, I think he still threw for 450. And he, to me, has the most chances out of anybody prior to championship, prior to conference championship and playoff than anybody else to have those Heisman moments against Michigan State, Michigan, and Penn State, because they got all three of them here in the last half of the season. So, I think how Caleb's playing and the attention he's getting is only going to set the expectations higher for him next year, which will be fun to watch him chase it, because whatever we had for Spencer Rattler, it's going to be 10 times that moving forward with him. So it's going to be cool seeing that for him.
Trevor, so going right off of Hack's point, because Hack did point out something that I obviously missed. Bryce Young is a freshman. Like, he watched last year. Stroud watched last year. You can say all you want about being in those organizations, but as you two know, you really don't know what it's like 30,000 feet up until you're in the pilot seat. Flying doesn't make us a pilot. You got to be behind the wheel to be flying this thing. And Hack, you're right. He is leading the Roman army, but I saw a breakdown today. He's in his historical era.
Yeah, it's the same. I saw the same one. It's sick.
Only 6 quarterbacks in like the last 50 years have done what Bryce has done in touchdowns, passing efficiency, and I think like a completion percentage. 6. I would have been curious, Hack, if they told us what happened to the other 5 or 6.
Yeah.
In terms of their relationship with the Heisman. So Trevor, if we go Stroud, Caleb Superman Williams, as he notes himself, Bryce Young, set the Bulldog defense aside. Is Matt Corral or anybody else within a dark horse's reach of crashing this party, or is that probably our 3?
I think the only dark horses here are somebody that's not leading their team to the playoff, somebody that, is a Bijan Robinson, right? I mean, he's clearly one of the best players in college football, but because they aren't running through their schedule and going to be in the media at the end of the year and all that, he's going to get overlooked. Does he deserve to be there? I think so at this point in the year. I mean, again, watching him today, he was by far the best player on that football field.
But so let's go to that. Who are you going to take out? So you could add him, but they really only they invite the number of guys until there's a statistical drop off. So 3 guys tight, 3 go, 5 tight, 5 go. But even in today's game, Oklahoma State's back had 193 yards in the game. Yeah. Bijan may be the marquee name. He may be the most NFL, most attractive player, but the running back on the other side of the field had 50 more yards rushing than he did. So the killer part for me, he is a megawatt talent. Andrew Luck didn't go to the Heisman. I mean, he didn't win the Heisman ever. There's a bunch of megawatt talents that didn't win. Texas is going to get rocked and rolled the back half of the season. Like, unless they have some kind of they need to do a seance or something for the back half of their year. They got both quarterbacks struggling. Defense is trying to figure itself out. Back-to-back double-digit losses. He's in that mix. It's hard to get him off that ship and get him to New York. Yep. Ship is sailing, you ride. Ship takes on water, you take on water. How is he going to unseat, as you guys both said, CJ Stroud, all his big prime time heavyweight showdowns are in front of us. Caleb Williams merely has to run the table, but he's going to be leading SportsCenter for the next 4 or 5 Saturdays. We're all going to be tuning in to see what he's doing. And then Bryce Young, the Roman army is coming back. You know they're going to come rolling right back. Where is Bryce Young going to find some? I mean, where is Bijan Robinson going to find room in here? Trevor,
he's not.
He's
not. I'm fishing for it, right? And I think that you made a great point. It irks my spirit to look back at past Heisman races and see some of the names that did not hoist that trophy.
Yeah.
Vince Young, Andrew Luck, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
These are guys that completely took over college football and still didn't win it. This year, we're sitting here talking about, okay, Bryce Love, right? He's the clear-cut front runner, right? Because of what he has done.
You mean
everybody else after that?
You mean Bryce Young,
Yes, I'm sorry. Everybody else besides that, we're fishing for it, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention, those three guys are all freshmen. So where are the upperclassmen? Where's the lack of talent in these past couple of years, right? It's an interesting deal. Maybe we're just one of those lulls where these younger guys will come up and be kind of our next class of superstars, but it's a tough year to analyze it for sure.
So one of those front runners is watching the rest of the season in Rattler. There's one. Another one of those, quote, older players, or semi-older players, DJ, is just struggling to – he's just struggling to kind of like – and then another – go ahead. Well,
go ahead.
Another one is Clifford. You and I have talked about this before.
Yeah.
Cliff is playing great ball. It's just not – it's not highlight leadoff worthy.
Not sexy.
But he's playing great ball. If I'm leading a set of troops and we're going from village to village to village, knocking folks out. We go on the road at Iowa. We're winning. I get knocked out. We lose. That shows you my value to the program. And it also shows you how good we are when I'm with our program.
Yeah.
How come he got no love?
Yeah. Well, so I can't answer that. But what I will say is going back to what we were talking about, how we have these three Heisman front runners right now, and they're all freshmen. I think that's a product of this reality TV show that we're living in now, George, though, is the time frame that these kids have now has gotten so crunched because you're expected to go and play. And once you're eligible, you're going to the NFL. You're gone. So you're no longer seeing this developmental path where you're going to have a guy like Matt Leinart who's going to be there for 4 years and play. And he's going to be able to make a run at this Heisman for
every year.
3 years, 4 years out of it. No, like these kids, you redshirt, you play as a redshirt freshman. You get 2 seasons to go try and win a Heisman because then everyone's going to be expecting you to go and take a big pay bump. So the time frame and the expectations, the media, the fans, our society has put on these kids, I think it's almost tailored it to these young kids because the coaches are pushing them out there. Yeah. Everyone's putting them out there because it's like, listen, this kid can be a top 5 pick. I'm playing him and I'm going to ride with him. And now you're just seeing that time and that growth and that development and depth in terms of upperclassmen. If you're an upperclassman, it's because you probably didn't play your first 2 or 3 years. Right. So you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's an interesting take on how this Heisman's gotten and just the race and the way we're talking about it and just the whole landscape of college football.
That's a good point. And to that point, we had 5 kids go first round last year, quarterbacks. Only one was a senior. And that was Mac Jones, who watched his first 3 years. Fellas, let's now move and great conversation about the new landscape that we're dealing with. Yes, that's the landscape, but yes, that's a tip of the cap. These 3 rascals aren't even eligible to sit down at their local college bar and enjoy a spirit, but they can lead a superpower program